move. Was I KO'd? Where am I? We're back in school.
Fucking finally, we did it.
Is this our classroom? No fucking. Shinozake! Hey, wake the fuck up, samurai.
We have a city to burn. She's
She's not breathing. Oh wait, she's breathing at least.
Shinozake! Come on, wake the fuck up, samurai.
5 more minutes. Kiss me, Kishinuma. What?
Take a look around you. I can hardly believe it. But here we are.
No way. We're back? For real? Is this really our school?
It's really real. Check it out here. Here's my desk.
Mine too. It's right here. I can't believe it. Oh wow, he's sitting right in front of her. Yeah, we made it. We're home. We're home.
Fuck yeah! Sucking on my dick. The world. Hee 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 hee.
Fuck that world, sis.
I never thought I'd live to see home again.
What is the date today? Because there's no Satoshi or Miss Yui or anyone else, huh?
The shelves are filled with personal effects belonging to the class 2-9 primary and assistant classroom teachers, homeroom teachers.
Oh, hang on. Shit.
Miss Yui even has some cans of cat food in here. I'm not sure that's the sort of thing she should be storing in the classroom, though. What a weird gal.
We're collecting to buy a banquet of flowers for our dear friend Suzume, who will be leaving us for a new school after the festival.
Oh, right.
300 yen per person. Contact Ayumi Shinozaki for payment. The needle on the clock on the inner wall is pointing to 8 and there's no soul in sight.
Not a single soul. Guess there's no Satoshi. Okay, it's the same dialogue.
The needle on the clock, okay.
Okay, what should we even do? The blackboard?
Venturing out to search for others, you find that even the janitor is likely gone home. The lights are out and the halls are pitch black.
God damn it.
Only the red glow of the light next to the fire extinguisher offers any respite from the quaint, quiet darkness of the school hallway.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, my inner dialogue. Standing around in the darkened corridors of our school building at 8 p.m. in the evening just feels so surreal, you know? That surreal feel, you know?
As the thunder and rain grow in intensity, the windows begin to condensate with moisture, turning white in contrast to the corridor's sea of black.
Mm-hmm. Wait a tick. I think I'm lagging.
Is this reality?
Is this just fantasy?
Was everything up until now it's just a dream? What?
You tried.
Yeah. Where the fuck am I right now? And what am I doing? Get back in the classroom.
What? Shinozaki, what's wrong?
Oh no, tentacle hentai.
What the hell in the name of blue hell is this?
It's not over, is it? Why isn't it over? Why?
Damn it. It's you. You.
No!
You.
Go back. Don't come any closer. Ah! Thunder.
You.
It was a rainy evening after school, just like this one. On the day I was kidnapped. I remember I had a fight with my mom that morning. Well, why is she telling us this?
I have no idea.
I didn't want to see her face. So after school, I decided that instead of going home, I'd park myself in the outdoor walkway for a little and watch the rain. That's then Mr. Yoshikazu showed up. He sat down next to me. I told him all about my fight with mom, and he listened really closely and just kept saying, uh-huh, uh-huh. He was sick and couldn't speak much, you see, but he was a very kind man. I really liked him. But then you two are nice people. I'm so sorry. She's so tiny. She must be 5th grader. Yuki Kano, right? Ah, thank you for what you did back there. For making the effort to help those of us who were killed in that school.
Didn't we succeed though? So why are you still here?
No, you didn't. But we returned your tongues. We gave you back your ability to speak out. And we've even got your murderer to repent for what he did. Is that just that you couldn't forgive him no matter what? Appeasing us isn't about forgiveness. It doesn't matter if we forgive or not. Repentance is between the criminal and the victim. It's the sole act of capable of moving us. And we exist as fragments of the sacred ground upon which heavenly host is sealed. I believe that moving us is your best closure of action. But it's not enough. His repentance just wasn't enough. So you're saying his words, the words spoken by the doll, weren't good enough to appease you? That's not... Huh? So, what? Oh wait, that's you.
So what then? Why did you feel the need to trap one innocent stranger after another in that godforsaken place? You child spirits are the one who summoned us here, aren't you?
That's not true.
What the hell do you mean by that?
We're just the cogs of the whole that hold the closed spaces together.
But you killed Suzumoto, didn't you?
Wait!
Huh?
Let's hear her out. I'm just glad I was able to get even the two of you out back to safety. Why the hell are you suddenly so... Wait,
Why the hell are you so suddenly concerned about us? Huh? You killed one of us.
I heard about a situation like this from my sister once. A lost soul whose life was ended violently and abruptly, leaving her with a mountain of worries and regrets. It's kind of like stopping short at the edge of madness, which all sorts of thoughts and feelings swirling around in your head. Your kindly nature and your sudden hatred and panic begin to spin around and around, and you start acting out without any sort of control.
Your sister is some kind of medium or something? What the fuck?
Yeah, something like that.
Your family's weird. So what you're saying is, this little girl and this creepy little girl, we met before the two sides of the same coin?
I feel for you, I really do. So please, please, bring the rest of them back. Mochida, Miss Yui, and everyone else too. Bring them back all home. Come on, you can do it, right? I don't think that's possible anymore. Why not? Those closed spaces have eaten a lot of innocent souls. Far too many, in fact. The grudges of those who died there have filled every last corner of them. There's no more room left in hell. Because of the agony and the pain has nowhere else to go, it's begun feeding on the minds of souls like us who are bound there. It won't be long before I turn back into a vengeful spirit who attacks people like you without mercy. So we're going to lose you as an ally then. So why don't you just hurry up and bring them home right now? Isn't there any way for us to save Mochida and the others? There may be one way.
What? What is it?
I think you already know. You have to return to the closed spaces. Find all four of us heavenly host serial kidnapping and the murder victims, and put us all to rest. Fuck! And you just might get your friends back. You expect us?
You expect us to go back? And this time, instead of just having one person to left to appease, we have to go back to the drawing board and appease all four of you?
Why couldn't you tell us the reason our previous efforts wasn't good enough? What's there to hide? It's just something I don't want to remember, but if you really want to know, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything that happened. Yuki's spirit gently took hold of Ayumi's hand, and in an instant, the two beings seemed to merge together into a single mind. What is this going? Shh.
Shinozaki.
It hurts. It hurts.
Shinozaki.
Right, you start. You do this. The whole dialogue for this part.
Oh, what?
Huh? What happened to me? Didn't I pass out? Why am I fully aware right now? I can't see a thing. I can't move. It's like the feeling you get when you're really tired. Sleep paralysis, I think. Well. Why can't I move? Yeah, your turn.
Sachiko Shinozaki, a little girl in red dress, and the only survivor of the horrific murders that occurred in Heavenly Host Elementary School.
Don't you have like a reporter voice filter or something?
I have no idea.
Following the incident, Sachiko's family fled from the area, moving to another prefecture to escape the frightful memories that remained here. Strangely, however, I've been unable to locate any other records of the Shinozaki family. No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from the newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders. Granted, when an elementary school becomes the stage for grisly incidents such as this, the perpetrator by none other than the principal's own son, it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as the primary focus for public interest, with all the other details fading into the background. So, of course, after learning that Sachiko was safe, further news of her whereabouts was largely ignored in favor of the media circus surrounding the school. But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning of Sachiko's history or whereabouts. There was simply no data to be had. Oh,
They were reading a newspaper.
I can't move my body because of the sleep paralysis, I guess. But I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's one boy and two girls in here, aside from myself. I recognize them. They are the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during the incident, but they're still alive. Unfortunately, they're all bound hand and foot and sprawled on the floor, and so am I. That's the real reason I can't move. Weep, weep. Wah. Somebody save me.
Is that the principal?
No,
Or
stop. No, that's a principal's son.
oh yeah, principal. I forgot.
No, I can't see. Now I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hands and feet are tied up, I can't move the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess I can't see. I began to listen more intently. Frightened sobbing. The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls in the cramped room. What? So I'm so scared. It feels like my head is going to explode. What are you doing to me? Why am I blindfolded? Untie me. Cut these ropes. I want to be able to see my hands and feet. Please. Please. I guess she isn't into that kinky shit. I keep begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was a man walking away from me. In order. Okay? In order. Oh!
Play the femur breaker.
Oh, I will edit that in. I've never heard this screaming like this before. It's pure, primal terror, cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave. It's sine? Yeah, it's the body. It's a boy at the end. I'm sipping up so much now. It feels like he's been screaming for an eternity. I think he's being killed right this very moment. My god, what the hell is he doing to him? No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer? It's been at least half an hour now. Those inhuman screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside have finally come to a halt. No! Without even a single moment of silence, the first of the girls in line are the next to scream for her life. The symphony goes on. god, I can't take any more of this. I'm losing my mind. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop! Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already? God, what's wrong with me? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with and leave me in peace. Finally, after hearing a sound like a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped, and the room grew quiet again. Thump, thump, thump. Those footsteps are getting closer. All my hair standing on the end of this point. At this point, everything below my stomach feels like it's frozen, like I've suddenly stricken from severe diarrhea. In order. God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died. Which means it's my turn now. Ah! Someone's got me by the hair. They're pulling out my head up and taking my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer.
Alright. The 4 missing children were found in the basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School, unused and officially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanly horrific sight. Based upon the evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspected some hesitation on the man's part. However, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. Nonetheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent. The official cause of death for the 3 murdered children has been listed as loss of blood following the removal of the tongue. But the actual state of affair was not quite so clinical, nor even so pleasant, if you can believe it. The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news outlets. These details of crimes are based on official police testimony of Sachiko Shinozaki herself. Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor, then killed one by one. One was repeatedly stabbed in the abdomen with the aforementioned pair of scissors, then had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out. His discarded innards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement room. Another was stabbed in the head dozens of times, to such an extent that all flesh and bone above her jawline was essentially minced away.
With my blindfold removed, the sight that had appeared before me was more horrific than I could possibly have imagined. The person staring back at me, brandishing a blood-soaked pair of sewing scissors, wasn't a large man from earlier at all. It was one of the children. It was a little girl, her face dyed red with the blood of her victims.
Fucking mental bitch.
She was staring intently at me with soulless grey eyes, and then she just started grinning,
Giggling.
giggling.
Jeez.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. Ah.
I don't like the sound of that.
I already have a thumbnail idea. She was opening and closing the bloody scissors over and over again. The sound kept echoing through the room. And then she took these grassy, thoroughly blood-soaked blades and slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye. Eh, yeah. Oh my. Why is it you? No, no, no! Radio Man.
The third victim was stabbed in the left eye an indeterminate number of times until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left out like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. Strangely, it was one after these mutilations, mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victims' tongues. Learning the truth about these proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster. And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old named Shichiko. In many ways, she's the most pitiable and long-suffering of them all. But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially charged. Now going back to hunt for information on this unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to Yoshikazu's sentencing. Therefore, it comes as no real surprise that her sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed. Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternative possible explanations, and I remind you, this is mere conjecture. But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was Yoshikazu Yanagihori really the murderer of the 3 victims? Is it possible this crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all? Think about it. In his final days, Yoshikazu was incapable of communicating with others through speech. And despite his childlike reversion, he'd always have been a personable and friendly man. As the saying goes, he wouldn't hurt a fly. All his relatives, friends, and neighbors confirmed as much, shocked to hear that such a kindly man would commit these unconscionable atrocities. He certainly had no motive for the crime either. There was nothing for him to gain from it. Then again, he may simply lost his mind. Look at his father. It was around the same time that Principal Takamine suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in most peculiar way. Not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls, as if possessed. He seemed frightened of anyone who would often be crouching in the corner of his office, moaning and thrashing when visitors came in. If he could wind up in such a beleaguered state with no warnings, then perhaps so too could his son. I believe we're looking at the curse far more powerful than anything a man could devise. From the time it opens its doors to the day it closes them forever. Emily hosts elementary school sealed basement rooms has existed as some form of cursed ground, and to find some underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnappings and murder incident, back to a whole 20 years. I believe I may have found a clue that could shed some light on the situation. It may be a bit far fetched. As leads go, is a lead nonetheless. Regrettably, since Heavenly Host Elementary was not only closed down and but demolished altogether, and another school was built in its place, it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly. But our boutique has found what may be next best thing. Something that could make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now. Be sure not to miss the next installment. It may be a scoop of a lifetime. Ko Kibiki, 2003, 722.
Epic music.
Yeah,
Continue in chapter 5.
shit. That was
That was intense.
Yeah.
God damn. At
All
least
right.
we know the story about this fucking incident. Is this the last chapter?